Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we are doing day 10 of the 12 days of Jenna's faves, and today's video is the best eyeshadow palettes of 2021. I've already done the best makeup of 2021, and I put eyeshadow palettes separately because I feel like they need their own spotlight, their own little video to highlight all of the amazing palettes this year. I narrowed it down to just the best of the best. This isn't going to be a video where I'm just going to be sharing every product I tried and how much I liked it. This is literally like cutthroat, like these are the best. So let's get started. In no particular order, let's talk about the first palette from this year. This is the first eyeshadow palette from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Dimension palette. This is one that is definitely a standout for this year. It's definitely one that is for my neutral gals. If you are wanting browns, rose golds, golds, and a little bit of like beiges and kind of white icy tones in the end there, you're going to love this palette. This offers beautiful pigmentation, a very beautiful creamy matte, and a really nice rich shimmer. They all pack a pigment punch, which I do appreciate. And I like the fact that there's a really nice variety here between the mattes and the shimmers. So you can really do a nice multi-dimensional look with this palette. You can put a matte down first and layer with shimmer if you would like. And it just adds to the overall look of like what's going on the lid. So beautiful. There's also two cream shadows here that can either be used as a primer or they can be used to add a little bit more depth to your look as well, because they are quite rich brown tones. I also like that there's a window there to close it off, but this is a really nice one from Patrick Ta, and I'm excited to see what 2022 brings for his line for eyeshadow. I know I'm going to be super excited for the next one. This next brand is actually the eyeshadow that I am wearing today. They came out with a trio of palettes this year with the blogger Temptalia. These are the Sydney Grace and Temptalia palettes. And these made the best of the year because they are just so cool to me. Sydney Grace makes a really nice high quality formulation with the mattes, the shimmers, very user friendly. I will say the only downside to some of these shimmers is the fallout. You can expect some fallout when you apply some of these. So I suggest doing your eyes first for this one. The palette that is on my eyes today is actually Quintessence, which is part of the trio. This is so stunning and actually kind of out of my comfort zone when I think about colors I typically wear. But I really love this palette because it does give me a really nice formulation to work with when I am trying these really beautiful bright pigments. If you are afraid of them and you have a dry, crappy formula to use alongside, it's just not a good experience overall. But if you have a really beautiful, high quality eyeshadow palette to help you learn, it's so worth it. So this is one that has these tones that are just so beautiful. It's very like galaxy and space and just super cool tones in this one. This is the next palette here. It is actually like a true rainbow. It is so pretty. Love the tones in here as well, and I do think that there is enough cohesion in this palette to still visualize looks. Sometimes when you have like a rainbow palette like this and you're like, I don't know where to go with this because it's like blue, green, purple, yellow. How do I make a look work together with these? But you can see that she's done just enough of a gradient to give you a different color and also include a foundational matte here in like a really beautiful beigey brown. So giving you enough difference in color, but enough still to be able to combine things together. You can easily combine these, combine this quad, right? So easy to do. So this is an absolutely lovely palette as well. The next palette is this one. I'm going to be careful because it is cardboard packaging, so I'm just going to make sure I don't bend it totally all the way forward, but this is also a beautiful one too. Like, look at these tones. I don't know if I have like colors like this repeated in my collection at all. So it's nice that she has done something different. This is definitely one of the faves from 2021. Let's talk about the next palette, which really surprised me. It's actually from the new brand this year that I discovered called Olivia Palermo Beauty. I did mention them in my best makeup of 2021 yesterday, but this is the palette, you guys, that I have been loving. Look at the packaging, first of all. I think I told you yesterday that the packaging of this entire line is basically my aesthetic, with gold, with luxury, the feeling of heaviness, the really stunning like visual packaging. I'm just obsessed. I love the texture of this. It's kind of like brick and you can hear my nails like running over it. It's just so cool. There's a lot to look at here, right? Once you open it up, it does have a mirror there, which encompasses the entire lid. And then we have this basic palette with a twist. So this is called Au Naturel. She does have another color story as well, but this is Au Naturel with a pop of blue, which I love. It's like taking that really beautiful, everyday friendly palette style and adding a little bit of a twist, like adding some spice, if you will, right? So I really, really love this. There's really nice mattes, shimmers, but there is a little bit of fallout in particular with some of the shimmers. This palette can take you from day to night really easily because of that gorgeous like shimmer components to this palette, plus that blue. It's just so beautiful. So one of my favorite palettes this year, a standout from Olivia Palermo Beauty. Way back at the beginning of this year, Charlotte Tilbury came out with the Look of Love collection. This is a really beautiful eyeshadow and face palette, like a look in one. It is still available on her website. This is the Instant Look of Love in a palette in Pretty Blushed Beauty. So, so pretty. Love the packaging. Gorgeous. Reflective rose gold with that really cool effect there with the design. This one has a face powder, a bronzer, a highlight, and a blush. And then we have 3 eyeshadows on the top, which is why I included it in today's video because it includes eyeshadow. The eyeshadow is really creamy and silky. It has this really beautiful shimmer shade on the top. What I do is I kind of go all over the lid with the middle one. I then layer the shimmer over top of that, and then I put the deepest matte in the corner to kind of smoke out. Very easy to just do like this look on the go, and this is something that I would take on a vacation easily, so I don't have to take all of these components separately. Such a good one from Charlotte. There's also another color story a little bit deeper in this palette. I do think this is something that deserves to be best of the year for eyeshadow because it's so easy to use and you've got the rest of the components there to get a full face. The next hit from Charlotte Tilbury is also one of her look in a palettes, but this is the Sunset Dreamscape palette. So pretty. This is actually more of a deeper look overall compared to Pretty Blushed Beauty. You can see there's a lot more depth to these pinks. A little bit more of a burgundy shade in here, a little bit more pinker compared to more so the everyday friendly like brownie taupes in the Pretty Blush Beauty palette. This one is set up very similarly. We have the bronzer, we have the 2 blushes, and we have a highlight, but the difference with this one is there's no face powder. So this is one that has 2 blush options, and we have a highlight as a really big pan instead of the powder, which in my opinion, it's just okay. I would love to have a powder too instead of the 2 blushes, but I also like the fact that there's some diversity there so you can have your choice of a blush. But this is also very silky smooth with these eyeshadows, a cohesive look very quickly. Same thing as just putting all this in the middle. You can layer with this one over top, and then you can smoke out with that cranberry burgundy shade. Absolutely beautiful palette, and definitely one more so for like a burgundy smoky eye look. This has also made my best of the year. I'm going to finish the Charlotte Tilbury train this year and talk about 2 more palettes that I feel like have been the best of the year, and they are both holiday releases. The first one is the Celestial Pearl palette. Now this is one that I get a ton of questions about if you have Star Aura, do you need this one? Here's the thing. This has more shimmer than Star Aura overall. The formulations are a little bit different. However, if you have Star Aura and you're kind of looking to save money, I wouldn't say this one has like the biggest distinction between them. So there's definitely a slight difference, but they both give that very subtle, glamorous eye overall look. So I don't think you'd be able to notice like a ton of distinction between the palettes. This is still good quality nonetheless. It is a really nice look in a palette. If you don't have Star Aura, it's a no-brainer to get this one. Teeny bit of fallout with this one, but the user friendliness is 10 out of 10. The shimmers really pack that shimmer presence on the lid. It just seems to make your lid look super, super pretty, but still in a subtle way. This like satin here in the corner, I do about 2 to 3 layers for it to be distinct enough to show up as a smoke shade because it is on the lighter side. But other than that, lovely, lovely palette. Obsessed with this one. Out of the 2, because she released another one called Cosmic Pearl, and I would recommend the Celestial Pearl one over that one in a heartbeat. Lastly, we have Smoky Eyes Are Forever. If this is your color story, you will love this one. I love the dimension of different looks in here as well. I love that she's got more than just pinks and browns and golds here. But this one is one that gives you those looks in a palette right away because she's combined them into trios. So you can do this as one look, this as one look, this is one look, this is one look, or you can do whatever you want and bounce around. But I always look forward to her holiday palettes because she kills it with formula. If this is a color story that you think you would use, the quality is definitely there. This next palette is one that is very memorable to me. This is one that came out kind of like early spring, early summer, I believe. It is this huge palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Norvina Pro 5. It's the first color story that really pulled me from this line. I was kind of like, I don't know if I like the other palettes. They're kind of bright. They're kind of meh. Like, I don't know. This palette has a little bit of redundancy in this column here. You can absolutely see that. It's just so hard to hold because it's so massive. But this one has a lovely amount of mattes, a lovely amount of shimmer, and I love the fact that she's got purple basically down to a T with this palette, like 100%. I love that there's also that little kiss of pink and a little bit of the browns to anchor this palette, but overall she's done purple really, really nicely. If you are a purple fan, you will love this. I do feel like as well it's important to know that Anastasia does have a pretty pigmented formulation, which is great, and the user friendliness is great, but it does fall on the face. Please do your eyes first. The fallout is pretty significant. This palette is definitely a lovely one though. It is a standout this year. I am so happy to have this one in my collection. It always makes me smile when I use it too because it's just so purple and fun. Miss Huda Beauty came out with quite a few palettes this year, but this is the standout one, and this is also a holiday palette. This is Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty, and I just love this one so much. Like the outer packaging, the color story, it's a cool tone, silver, rosy, purpley, taupey lover dream. It is so stunning. So here we have the palette, and it is beautiful. I love that she's got the quartz in some of these pigments, like the design of the quartz stone. We have it in here, 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 just so, so pretty. A lot of these have very different textures to them as well. I believe there's 5 different formulations in this palette alone. So it's really nice to see the multi-dimension that you can do when you're playing around with this palette. It's nice to see also a little bit more than just matte and shimmer. There is a face gloss right here. It is a little bit on the tacky side, so I don't necessarily leave that as a top layer on my look because I feel like it kind of sticks a little bit. Haven't quite mastered how to set that down fully so that it's actually set and dry. It just leaves a little bit of a tack. I might pat it slightly in the center because it does have a decent shimmer component to it, but I will not put it across the entire lid. It's just too sticky. These shades complement each other. She killed it with this. Stand out if you are looking for a Huda palette this year. This is the one. Skip all of the small ones. This is the one from this year's releases. One of my favorite palettes this year from YSL is their holiday palette. So pretty. I hesitate showing you guys this palette because it is nearly sold out everywhere. I believe Canadians can still get it at Nordstrom Canada. I will link it in the description box. Used to be at Sephora Canada, it's gone. Used to be at YSL, it's gone. People loved this one and it flew. And rightfully so, it's a beautiful palette. This is the inside of this one and it is stunning. We do have some beautiful shimmer and we also have some kisses of cranberry for the holiday. And the packaging is like amazing. Like the packaging, 10 out of 10. The eyeshadow is more of like a softer look overall, but it's so silky smooth, lasts all day, does not crease or gather into my lines or anything. It's just such a beautiful palette. Obsessed with this one for sure. Did not want to show you because so many people missed out, but it is one of the best of the year. Next, we have Natasha Denona. Now, Natasha has come out with quite a few this year. She's always into eyeshadow and she's released quite a few palettes, but these are the top of the year. I was very particular. There's some that I liked and there's some that were good, but these are great. The first release is actually the Glam Face Palettes. This is really, really stunning. I love that she's combined eyeshadow and some complexion products in one. There's 2 versions of this. We have light and we have deep. So this is the light version. It is so gorgeous. This look is stunning. It almost gives me mini nude vibes a little bit, but they're not exact duplicates. So I do love how it's just this everyday friendly gold shimmery moment, which I love so much. And it is very typical to her formulations. Keep in mind, these shimmers are more of her flaky shimmers, her lighter weight shimmers that have a little bit more fallout than typical. And then we've got her 3 mattes here that are really creamy and easy to blend. We have a cream blush up here and we have a highlight here. Really beautiful as well, but I will say the cream blush I prefer to pick up with a sponge and just kind of buff out into the cheek there, and it's really nice, and I would say medium opacity. It's not super pigmented, so you don't have to worry about being super light-handed with it, but this highlight packs a punch. So I would go light-handed with that one. I'm gonna show you the deep version as well. The deep version is super pretty. This is one that I use a little bit less, in particular the complexion products, because there's just a touch too deep for me. So I would have to be extremely light-handed for my skin tone. The eye look though is really beautiful on me. It's quite deep, right? But it's still the same quality. The same shimmers in here for formulation, the same creamy mattes in here as well. So I do love this palette. It's a great option if you want a deeper version, or if you are deeper skin toned, this is a fantastic option. Early on this year, she released this cutie. This is the Mini Love palette. This is also one of the best of the year. This is a really gorgeous, like, I would say romantic look. It's very pink, a little bit of purple in there as well, but I do love the tones in this little mini. I do think the quality is there. There are some minis that weren't as good as others, but this is one that's definitely consistent with her full-size counterparts, her midi-size counterparts. So it's nice that if you're wanting something small, you can grab this and know the quality is maintained. Now, I like this one more than the Love palette, which was the midi-size palette. I just got some really bad luck with that palette. So I'm glad that she came out with a small one, and to me it's been redeemed, and I can use this one and not have to worry about any inconsistencies. In this palette we have 2 mattes, 2 metallics, and we also have a duochrome as well. This is a duochrome shade here. It's kind of like a rose gold and a brighter pink. So it's a really beautiful palette for that really nice dimension. I'm obsessed. If you love these types of pinks and purples, and perhaps the Midi Love palette didn't work for you, this is a really great option if you want to capture just a snapshot of that color story and be able to enjoy that palette in this mini size. What would this year be without talking about retro? This screams Jena to me, and I feel like this is the palette that is truly so beautiful. I can't. Like, it is something that if I could envision a palette, this would probably be what I would think of. When I think about my everyday friendly shades, the dimension that I would want with the shimmers, the metallics, so pretty. This is a cool toned kind of mauve, pinky purple kind of color story. It's very complementary with Glam Midi if you have that one, but this is such a good one, hands down. Very soft, creamy formulas, very easy to work with. They're buildable. They don't move, which I love. This palette is super beautiful. It was definitely ranked really high in my holiday palettes. I absolutely love this one. I just think the consistency is there, the quality is there, and you can't beat that price. This is the midi size, so it's not her gigantic palette and it's not her mini. This is the perfect one. There's so much versatility. It is such a beautiful palette. Moving on to Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath also released quite a few palettes this year, but I wanted to narrow it down to the top 2 best of the year. If you guys watch me, you probably know what these 2 palettes will be, but the first one is Celestial Odyssey from Holiday. This is definitely one of her top 2 of the year. This is so gorgeous. Ugh, I love the variety of shades that Pat has decided to do with this one. It's so hard to hold though. I'm gonna try my best. It's massive, but this is one that has the beautiful pinks that I really love, plus the kisses of blue and green and silver. The really beautiful shades that I feel very comfortable with, but with that kiss of boldness, right? So I really love this one too. I really like the fact that she has done something with quite a bit of versatility here. You could do quite a holiday look with the green and silver, or keep it more like everyday friendly by going over on this side of the palette, right? So I love this. I think this is amazing, and the consistency for this palette is so strong. I always hold my breath a little bit when it comes to Pat's products because sometimes when she does the cardboard packaging, I do notice a little bit of discrepancy in like the creaminess of the mattes, for instance, or something is just a little bit different. There are no Blitz Astral shades like what the motherships offer, but this is still one that has so much to choose from, so much to work with. You can be really creative, and I really, really love that. The last palette that I believe is the top one of the best from 2021 is Utopian Dream by Pat McGrath Labs. There's no surprise here. One of my favorite motherships overall. I am obsessed with this one. Cannot say enough good things about this. I could talk for a whole video on this, and I believe I did in my review. So that was already done. But this has a beautiful color story, just like the rest of them, but I love how this is so cohesive. This is one of her motherships to me that I believe would scream to a beginner. These are shades I think that anybody could approach and be like, hey, I can do this and I can make a look beautiful, right? I just love this one. I love what she's done with this quadrant here, which is the Blitz Astral formulas. They're so, so pretty. You can see by these swatches here that they are out of this world, and that is typically what Pat McGrath is like. She loves to have those really cool, unique formulations. This offers so much in one palette. There's the creamy mattes, the shimmers, the Blitz Astrals, just like such a beautiful array of what Pat McGrath can do. So I really love this palette too. This is such high quality. Celestial Odyssey doesn't have the same offerings that this one does when it comes to formulation. So both are fantastic, but this one just offers more variety, and I really, really love that. Now it's time to transition into Santa Jena. She is here with some holiday cheer, and my little elf has been very busy doing this giveaway prize, which I am so excited. You guys really liked the last two palettes from this countdown, which was Utopian Dream and Celestial Odyssey. And I think it's time that Santa Jena give one of you guys Utopian Dream and Celestial Odyssey. So you are going to be getting both of these palettes. This is today's giveaway prize. Rules are the same as always. Do subscribe to my channel, leave a comment in the comment section with your Instagram handle or an email address so I can get a hold of you if your comment is drawn. Giveaways are international, so everyone is qualified to enter them. And all of the official rules are going to be in the description box, so don't forget to review those as well. I really hope you guys are excited for this prize. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.